So I'm off all social media since late October, right?
And it's mid-February.
Mid-February right now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not touching this stuff, right? Now, while I'm doing this, I'm going through the standard creative person tropes, the highs and the lows and the disconnects and the self-doubt and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
That gets you back to the top of the mountain. And so I meet with a good buddy of mine, shout out Mario. And one of the things as a brand strategist that he suggested I do was to just get back on my socials and start reaching out for this new direction that we're looking to go, right? So as a lot of creatives are, I'm very much, and I know we've talked about this before, I'm very much like X, Y, Z needs to be in order. Along with that, I need this backlog catalog. I need this backup. This has to be right. And then we will release.
Yep, this build up, right?
Right. And so first thing I do after taking that advice is I go and I put Instagram on my phone. Now I'm talking to the people right now because they need to hear this. The first video that I see is my brother Kenji walks. At first I was like, whoa, he's really taking the marathon thing seriously. He's about to walk across. No, but then I started looking and I'm reading the post and I'm going to butcher the crap out of this paraphrasing, but it begins to go on and basically just give us all the encouragement that put these bad videos out. Like, stop hanging on to your art. Stop, like, I think as artists, a lot of times what we do is we're our own worst critics and we put our stuff in glass houses, right? Where it's like, this got to be over here because it's the perfect idea and we're just going to keep it in there to incubate, and it almost never fully realizes, right? So the first thing I see when I open up my phone is the motivation of my boy Kenji Lee right here. And I text him while I'm uploading my first bad video. So I'm uploading my first bad video.
Yes.
We're 24 hours removed from that, and I'm 3 videos deep on this road to 100.
Hell yeah.
I'll make it to 100.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, you never know, like, the catalyst, like, of all the things that could have happened.
Of all the posts you could have saved after this hiatus.
And not just, like, it could have been anybody's, right? But it's somebody that's close to me. It's somebody that's important to me. It's a family that's important to me. And I immediately reached out to, and I was just giving, this is like a running joke within the family of friends network. Like, his brother Taisei, God bless him, is one of the best human beings on earth, but he is Mr. like, don't show up at the time he says he's going to show up. And
all blast.
And so Ty goes, how'd you do that? And I was like, I texted Kenji and said, I'm there, tell me what. And then he said, and then what happened? And then he told me the time, and I came.
Here we are.
So
there's no secret to that.
So that's how we got from the text to right here in front of you guys. But yeah, I mean, I just thought it was so, it wasn't just dope that happened, but it was this is a new thing for me in my life. I'm about to be 39 in a week.
Yeah.
And if you know me, the amount of stuff that I've been through and survived through is a couple of lifetimes in itself. But then to, like, still be learning from my friends, like, to hear that from a friend, to hear, like, stop hanging on to your art, like, get your art out there, get what you want to do out there, just put it out there, figure it out on the way. If there is one thing that I would fault myself on through my artistic journey, like throughout life, would just be spending too much time concerned with some unreachable level of perfection with what I wanted to do.
You know what I think adds to that? Now more than ever, with the connectivity rising, like the exposure to things that you have not experienced, all of that thing, like our kids are around the same age, right? Now more than ever, and here we are, some 30-somethings looking at 40 men born and raised in Hawaii, right? America at large, upbringing. This is not the old man on the porch speech here, but it is. Let's point at the truth of what today is. You're exposed to things that you aren't necessarily experienced in. And that can lead to entitlement. That can lead to things like pressure, anxiety, expectations, unattainable, unrealistic expectations. That's one side of it. But I think the other side of it is being like, I see how accessible it is to reach people who I know are going to be nodding their head. To like, for this kind of situation, it's just one isolated one guy situation. But I know that message of just post it, do share bad things, because I know what we consume might not all be quote unquote bad. But when you look across everybody who can post, what percentage of them are posting? And then in that percentage of people who are posting, what I feel like skills are not as relevant as they were. Here we go. Like, this is going to start a debate maybe, but skills aren't as powerful or impactful today as simply showing up. So even if you're not the most skilled artist, quote unquote, whatever your craft is, you pick up a brush, a mic, a camera, whatever you pick up, whatever your tool is, and you want to create and you want to express, compared to 20 years ago, your barrier to entry is a lot lower because you can connect so easily now. And so I feel like looking at connection as a tool in and of itself is one way to be creative. So how many connections can I make? Doesn't necessarily have to be the best lit, the best angle, the best, like, oh, there's camera shake in your video. So what? It got to the people it needed to get to, and those people got that pump up they needed. And then that kind of, in my head, I see like domino effect. Oh, there's a domino effect. And I'm saying it as one of the people like got hit by a domino. So it's my job to tip the next one, that kind of almost like a stewardship feeling that I feel.
I'll speak to that. Like, so what I find, I relate to everything you just said. What I find is interesting in that is we're kind of like that in-between generation, right? Like, we were entering young adulthood as this connectivity in the internet kind of like surged, right? It became crazy. So I remember specifically coming up like in music and in hip hop circles and things like that, like a lot of things were gatekept. So there was these processes and things you went through and tickets you had to punch and kind of like rungs on your belt you needed to get in order to have access to certain things, people, opportunities, XYZ, right? For someone like me, what I find is that in this new era with exactly what you're saying, where it's like the barrier to entry is low and it's just there, just go for it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel sometimes like that dog off the leash that's always been held in a certain way. So it's like people are like, go ahead, bro, go get it. And I'm like, well, wait, well, I mean, are we, you know, like I feel like this kind of stuckness sometimes. So when I see, and specifically from a view with someone like Kenji with an artistic eye, I see it as important because I look at your type of people as, you know, visionaries, especially with the video medium. I feel like you guys get to see more. And the reason why I relate to that is because my writing has always come from a place of seeing pictures and translating those. And so I've always been fascinated and always had a lot of videographer friends around me because being able to see that whole picture, I think, and kind of like you said, to just even know that you're a domino, but still want to be another domino that hits the next and lets people like myself that feel like that unleashed dog that's kind of like, we can go, but do we go, you know?